Witam wszystkich z powrotem na moim kanale. Moim gościem, dzisiaj specjalnym gościem jest IFBB Pro, Mayla Ash. Witam Cię serdecznie.
Hello, thank you guys very much for actually having me on your show. First, it's actually Mayla Ash.
So, Mayla Ash.
Yes.
Sorry.
I get a different pronunciation from people from other countries. It's Mala, Myla, depending on which country it's on, but technically it's Mayla Ash. I respond to kindly for any of the conversations though. But thank you for having me on your show.
Przejdźmy od razu do pierwszego tematu. Dlaczego akurat kulturystyka? Dlaczego się ją zainteresowałaś?
What made me decide to get into bodybuilding? Before I got into bodybuilding, I used to do track and field. I was a power sprinter. I was an elite power sprinter most of my life. And one of the things that I loved about sprinting or running was the fact that no matter what, everything relied on that athlete. It was an individual sport, and the actions and your choices that you made the difference of whether or not you would excel. The same thing applies in bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, even when you have a team, you have a coach, and you have all these people who might be helping you, it comes down to the actions of that individual. So good or bad, win or lose, I'm responsible for everything that I do, and that gives me a better sense of pride and enjoyment in the sport, number one. Number two, I love the concept of being able to reinvent my body, reshape it, make it into a different look. It's like living work of art to me. Bodybuilding, the posing, all of it, especially the more traditional or classical concept of bodybuilding, it's like living art. And so I enjoy the idea of trying to mold my body into something else that might be seen as more beautiful or divine. So.
Od którego roku ćwiczysz?
I actually started lifting weights years ago when I ran track and field, but starting to lift for bodybuilding, for the sport, I started in the sport in 2012. That's when I started, and I did my first show. And after that, 8 months later, I earned my pro card. So I've been lifting and building my body since 2012.
A powiedz właśnie, jeśli chodzi o tą kategorię, w której teraz startujesz, to czy ona jakby była twoją kategorią docelową, czy jednak będziesz starała się przejść nieco dalej do kulturystyki już klasycznej?
When I first started the sport, I always desired to do women's physique, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I always had a problem with being barefoot in public, so I wound up doing women's figure. But because of the amount of muscle density that I have, it was recommended that I get over my fear of being barefoot on stage and get into women's physique. And actually, I absolutely love this division. I feel like it allows me to show my personality. It's something that it gives me an opportunity, and the rest of my sisters of steel, an opportunity to show the world that a woman with muscles can still look feminine and still look beautiful. Concerning moving to the next level, even though I have much respect for women's bodybuilding, I always want to push myself to be the best that I can be. And I don't believe at this stage that I could actually go into women's bodybuilding and excel as well as I would want to. And that's always going to be my passion, to try to be one of the best. So I think for my body and my frame, women's physique is the vision that I was meant to be in. That doesn't mean that maybe later on in life that I might go to the next level and do women's bodybuilding. But right now, women's physique is where I was meant to be.
Spread your wings, yeah?
Yes.
Czyli na razie ta kategoria, jakby w tej kategorii pozostajesz. A właśnie powiedz, jeśli już jesteśmy przy twojej kategorii, przy twoich startach, to kiedy masz następny start?
Oh, wow. With everything that's happening this year with the pandemic and them canceling shows and moving shows around, um, your guess is as good as mine almost. The goal is, though, I'm gonna be honest with you, that I'm really pushing to try to get on stage within the next month or two. I want to get requalified to go back to the Olympia this year. So I want this to be my fourth year going to the Olympia. I want to get back to the big show and really just show up and show out. So fingers crossed that I can get on stage um, in within the next 8 weeks. So we'll see though.
Czyli teraz, czyli będziesz szykowała się z powrotem do Olimpii, więc co, może teraz to przejść?
We're hoping for the top 5.
That's better. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Trzymamy kciuki. Powiedz, jesteś też trenerem, prawda?
Yes, I do. I am a performance trainer, which a performance trainer is somebody who focuses on actual training techniques and other aspects, not just in the weight room, but also non-weight related activities to help the person to improve their performance of their body, to help improve their body themselves. So I do provide training and coaching services, which includes performance coaching and performance training also helps other sports like track, soccer, and things like that to help their bodies get to a place where they need to so they can excel in their sport.
Mhm. Powiedz, jeśli to właśnie tak patrzysz na tych swoich podopiecznych, to jakie widzisz najczęstsze błędy, jeśli chodzi o trening czy dietę? Czy masz jakieś rady właśnie dla takich osób, dla osób początkujących?
Some of the most common mistakes or misconceptions that I get from people who contact me and ask for advice, and for clients that I am coaching or training, is that they always assume that more is better. You know, the goal is that I want to lift as much as possible. You know, I've seen Ronnie Coleman lift. I want to lift like him tomorrow. You know, and so, you know, a lot of times when people look at me, they're just like, wow, you look like you can lift more than that when I'm training. And I tell people I can, but I don't always have to. There's a balance when it comes to bodybuilding. There's a balance when it comes to muscle development. You want to lift for size and mass, which does deal with heavier weights, but to shape the muscles. That comes for lifting with lighter weights, more control, and more mind-muscle connection. So that's one of the misconceptions that I get. Another thing is that people really don't realize that when it comes to seeing the muscle definition, that's all about diet. You know, I hear people all the time, I'm in the gym as much as you are. I don't know why my body's not changing. You must be on something. It's like, no, I don't go eat, you know, a bunch of fast food and a huge cake after I work out. It's like, you need to have that balance of good training and good nutrition if you want to see the muscles. I hear it all the time. I do 1,000 sit-ups a day. I only do 20, like, you know, every couple of days. You can see my abs because of my nutrition, not because of the amount of work that I'm doing. So those are the two main mistakes or misconceptions that I get from people, is thinking that to get bigger and stronger and to get the muscles that we have in shape, you got to lift real heavy, and my nutrition really doesn't make that big of a deal. It's not, that has nothing to do with it. So
Powiedz, właśnie już tak trochę zmienimy temat. Powiedz, czy uczestniczysz, czy bierzesz udział też w różnych takich wydarzeniach większych, coś jak FIBO, czy jak te imprezy w Birmingham co roku? I czy masz zamiar może w przyszłości przylecieć również do Polski na polskie targi FIBE?
I would love. Well, before the pandemic, one of my goals this year.
Yes, this is
was to start going more international. It was my goals to start visiting other countries, attending other events, fitness events at those countries, and actually competing in those countries. So it is my desire to still try to keep that promise to myself. I would love to come there and not only attend the event, but to spend some time with the people in Poland and maybe working out with them, having a seminar. I'm like, that would be an awesome experience. So yes, I'm very open to coming there and attending the FIBO event out there and spending some additional time just enjoying the culture and beasting out at the gym with you guys. So maybe one day soon.
Na trening na pewno się umówimy, tego nie odpuszczę. I obiecuję, że poprawię swój angielski, bo teraz niestety słabo.
Well, I'll make a deal with you. You can work on improving your English, and then when I come out there, you guys can teach me a little bit of your language also.
Tak, dodatkowe pytanie dla Ciebie. Jakie masz cele, jakie masz marzenia, jeśli chodzi o właśnie sport, jeśli chodzi o sprawy zawodowe? Jeśli chcesz, to możesz pochwalić się również prywatnymi.
My goals. Well,
win Olympia?
Actually, yes. I think that's every competitor's dream. So that is one of my dreams. I would love to win the Olympia. Yeah, I'm like that's a huge dream of mine. Another one is to actually start traveling and speaking on the sport of bodybuilding and women with muscles, and try to get people to understand that, you know, muscles on a woman is not unattractive. It doesn't make her less feminine, and that lifting weights and exercise and fitness, it's like a fountain of youth. It does so much for the body. So actually just expanding in the fitness world, that I do more public speaking, I'm doing more events, engaging more people, and getting my performance training and coaching more on an international or global level by bringing it into a virtual aspect, that I can pick up clients that pretty much I train on a Skype kind of level like this. And so those are some of my goals and dreams that I'm striving for, you know, to actually to make the world just a little bit smaller and connecting more and more with my brothers and sisters all over the globe. So.
Okej. W takim razie dziękujemy Ci bardzo za tą krótką rozmowę. Mamy 15 minut za sobą. Mam nadzieję, że jeszcze wkrótce porozmawiamy razem.
Thank you very much. And I would love to do a follow-up interview with you guys. So please just keep me posted and let me know. And I will talk to you guys real soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.